Hi, this is Juan Cuellar with the Kino Border Initiative. I'm the Director of Education and Advocacy. Today, I want to share the stories and the facts that we're seeing the last month of June 2026 here at the border between Nogales, Sonora and Nogales, Arizona. I want to highlight first that there are Mexican nationals being deported to the south of the country, and there are very few, if any, being deported to the north by land. A second trend we're seeing is abuses by officials and criminal groups in Mexico, including towards non-Mexican nationals forcibly deported by the US to Mexico. A third trend we want to highlight is that people fleeing violence continue to make their way up the US to the US-Mexico border despite the risks of deportation and family separation. And finally, a last trend I want to highlight is the abuses in detention centers which continue to be rampant, unfortunately, in the US. I want to highlight the story of Jesus. Jesus lived in Arizona for 25 years. He and his family made a life there, and unfortunately, Jesus was detained and deported. During his detention, however, Jesus had many moments where he wanted a court date, and this was continually postponed. Unfortunately, he was then finally deported, and being away from his family, he decided to go back into the US. He was detained, and again, he was held for 3 months before being deported once again. Jesus is originally from the north of Mexico. However, he was deported to the south of Mexico. And this is a strategy we're seeing with many people. There's family separation, and there are incentives of ICE to push people to be deported as south as possible so that they have a really hard time trying to cross back to see their families and their communities where they have built their lives. I hope that more of these stories help you understand the severity of what we're experiencing here. And I invite you to check our website, our YouTube, and our Instagram site so that you can keep following us. Thank you so much.